Yo, how's everyone doing? Welcome back for some more Forza Horizon 3. Today I'm sharing with you the 2013 Shelby GT500, and I'm going to quick show you the stats of the car, then I'm going to show you the car in the Forzavista, and we're going to be ending off with some racing gameplay. But the first thing that I want to say is, this is a beautiful muscle car. I mean, I pretty much like all of the Ford Mustang body styles. It really doesn't matter which year it is, and honestly the newest version is probably my least favorite just because the front end of the car, the lights they're kind of making look like other Ford cars, and I kind of don't like that, but the back still looks really good, and the unique taillights are the thing that really gets me. I think they look so good, and you can always tell when it's a Mustang. But this thing has a supercharged motor, 600 plus horsepower and torque. I mean, it is a monster. It weighs almost 4,000 pounds, so it is pretty heavy, but in terms of looks overall, I mean, this thing looks so good. Love the stock wheels, the stock spoiler, and the interior looks really good as well. It has those Recaro seats, and I really like the seats. They're very unique and definitely something you don't see in too many cars, so overall the looks of this thing are very good, and the sounds of this car, they're okay. I mean, when you're accelerating, it's not that great. It just sounds like your average muscle car, I guess, but when you downshift or when you let off the gas, the crackling is just unbelievable. I love the sounds when it crackles. Oh man, that sounds so good. But in terms of performance, this car is pretty good. The one thing that you're gonna notice is that the launch is not all that great, and the reason for that is first gear you can actually pull all the way to 68 miles per hour. That is a very long first gear, and it's kind of a good thing and a bad thing. So it's bad because you pretty much have wheel spin that entire first gear, so the launch is not all that great. But the thing is, first gear is so long and gets you so high up into speed that right when you hit second gear, you should have perfect grip going in a straight line. So that's awesome because you're in second gear going pretty much 70 already, and that's very nice for the straight lines, which this is a muscle car, and that is pretty much its strength. But the thing is, you know, the launch just feels awful because you really have to have throttle control, kind of tap the gas all the way until you get to about above 60 miles per hour. I would shift a little bit early because you certainly lose a lot of speed with all of that wheel spin, but after that the acceleration is absolutely fantastic. I mean, for an A-class car, this thing pulls hard. It has a 5-speed transmission. Well, technically it's a 6, but you're only going to be using 5 of the gears, and if you look in the tuning, you're only going to see 5 of the gears. But the one weakness is the handling, and usually I can rip through that bend very easily, but this car doesn't really turn that well at high speeds. Now when you're in first or second gear, it's pretty good at turning, but the other thing I don't like is first gear is so long that it's kind of hard to decide when you're making these sharper turns whether to stay in second gear or go back down into first gear, and that's one thing I really played around with, and I think just staying in second's the best because then that way you don't have to lose time and speed by shifting. But I mean, I guess that's kind of personal preference. Some people might like going back into first gear, and that feels a little bit weird to me. The gearing definitely feels different, and most of the time you're not going to go above fourth gear, but the gears are just so long, so I do like that when you're actually driving in a straight line. Now, in terms of braking, the braking certainly isn't that great. I mean, it's not awful, but it does have some pretty long braking distances, and the car is pretty heavy. It's a muscle car, so that kind of is expected. But when it comes to top speed, I mean, this thing tops out at over 200 miles per hour, which is very good considering we are in the A-class, so that is not an issue, and the shift time feels good too. I mean, it doesn't feel like it shifts slow at all, and overall the grip on this thing is good. You do need a little bit of throttle control. It will slip and slide a little bit, and if you notice, this thing can actually drift a little bit, which I wasn't even really trying to do, but it's a very good handling car overall because it is controllable, but some people might struggle with it because it does slide quite a bit if you don't have that good throttle control. And I'm not sure if I want to keep this car in the A-class or move it to the S1 class because it's very high in the A-class, so you can't do too much with it, but it's very competitive in the A-class, so that's why I'm really not sure what I want to do with it. But I feel like if you put a lot of upgrades and really built the car, that it could be a good S1 car. Better grip, better handling, and obviously it'll probably be faster and have better braking. So those are kind of the weaknesses, the handling and the braking, and obviously the launch. But this thing is so fast and it handles good enough that it can be a very good car. So let me know what you think of the 2013 Shelby GT500. But as always, thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to y'all again very soon. Peace out.